Hello there, everybody. It's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group in sunny Myrtle Beach. And I just wanted to give you another real estate update as to what's going on in our local real estate market. Wow, there's been a lot of movement, a lot of confusion. But what I can say to you right now is interest rates today are lower than they have been than in the last few years. That's a good sign. So they've, been bouncing around for the last couple of years, but they've been inching down over the last couple of weeks, even the last month and a half, which is a positive sign. We're hoping that'll actually continue. So, the reason I start off with that type of information is because that means, or that leads to something else that I can share, which is buyer activity is increasing. We're looking on our websites right now, and we can see how much traffic we have on our websites. That's how much or how many times people are going to Googling some Myrtle Beach real estate type of terms and getting on websites and they're searching homes. And what we know is that the traffic count, the search count for potential buyers has increased. That's a positive sign. What we call that is an early indicator that these buyers are like have enough confidence right now to like say, okay, let me go and see what's available. Let me see what I can purchase. Let me see what properties are worth. So they're doing that right now. That leads to increased amount of calls, eventually increased amount of appointments, increased showings, and then increased sales, which means that's good for sellers who are thinking about selling for the remaining part of 2025. Home values right now, as I said in a recent newsletter, home values are stable. Some people could say they slightly went down, and I guess we could say that if we pinpointed maybe a certain section of the market or a certain price point. But when we look at the market overall, prices are stable. They're really up, but up maybe a 0.5%. So let's call it flat. But what we see is they're really not going down at any rates. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but that's what the situation is right now. Inventory, yes, everybody kind of knows inventory is higher than it has been. But what's interesting is it's not so high that it's caused properties to go lose value. And at the same token, right now we're seeing a decrease in interest rates, increase in buyer activity. So we're not thinking that the inventory levels right now are going to push property prices down. There's a few scenarios right now, which I'm kind of surprised, where there's a few foreclosures coming on the market. It doesn't look like they're going to come on the market in a big wave, but it is interesting that a few foreclosures and short sales are hitting the market both in residential and in condos. But what I'm happy about and relieved about is even though we're seeing some distressed properties hit the market, we're not seeing them at drastically reduced prices, again, pushing the overall market down. We're not seeing that right now. As for a market trend, what does Greg Harrelson predict? What I predict, and that I say predict because this is not factual, this is very subjective. I just want to give you kind of a feeling of what some of us are believing is going to happen in the market. We believe that we're going to continue to see stability in prices. We don't think we're going to see downward pressure on prices. We are seeing people list a little bit closer to fair market value, so they're not building as much of a cushion right now when it comes to their list price. And that's just because they want to be competitive. But as we see list prices coming down, the good news is we didn't see prices coming down. We just see less negotiation going on. Sellers are being more aggressive at their pricing. They're holding firm, and buyers are accepting that. So that's kind of a trend that we see. If you're thinking about selling, I think now's the right time. I think you push your property, get your property on the market, get positioned while this market, while we're seeing a little bit more buyer demand. And I think you're going to see not only a sell in a shorter period of time, but I think we're going to see better pricing. So if you have any questions regarding any of this, you please let me know. Also, on a recent email that I sent, newsletter, I just want to let you know, warn everybody, listen, insurance premiums are also coming down. In the last 2 years, insurance premiums have skyrocketed. My personal property almost doubled in the premium cost. It went from a few thousand to a few more thousand. Literally, it almost doubled, in when it comes to how much I had to pay for annual insurance. Right now, I recently had it requoted and I changed carriers, and it went down, and it went down around 50%. So that's a big deal. It's a real big deal. Actually, really around 40% when I calculate it. So that's a big deal. I just want to let you know that that's going on in the marketplace. Of course, I gave a few other explanations of what's happening with insurance in the newsletter. So you definitely want to check that out. Okay, good. That's my update for August 2025. If there's anything I can do for you, I sure would love to earn your business. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm Greg Harrelson with Century 21, the Harrelson Group. You take care.